Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Algebra coming to you live and direct from the studio right now. Gonna be really quick, really quiet with this video. My boy Averick is sitting here, half awake, half asleep, but we also about to take some family pictures. So this is gonna be a really quick shot at learning how to do elimination. Starting you off with a story problem. It says the sum of two numbers is 31. Their difference is 13. I'm asking you what are the numbers? So two big things are happening here. One, you have a story problem, two variables, two equations. Easy to spot that. I'll go ahead and give those to you. X plus y equals 31 and x minus y equals 13. The new idea is that instead of solving for one particular equation, what happens if you just add these two things together? You would get three x's and the y's would cancel all the way out. End up with 44. Pause. The good thing about what you just did is like the fact that the y's are just gone. You've literally eliminated one of your variables. And by eliminating one of those variables, you are essentially turning it into a normal old one variable equation. This is really easy to see that x is 22. So what our process is going to be, as you can tell by the word choices that I'm giving you out loud right now, is that we can eliminate a variable, and in doing so, that elimination will leave us in a much better situation. Finish this off by taking your answer and plugging it in. So I know in the back of the room, some of y'all are sitting there thinking, oh, it would have been really nice to know about this beforehand. Could have saved you a whole lot of time. I could have, but you weren't ready for it yet. You need to understand all the things that are working together in these situations. So here we go. In this one, you can clearly see that if you just add these two equations together, it's going to clear out the entire y variable. You get 13x's equal to 52, which makes x equals 4. Easy, too easy almost. Take your answer, plug it back in. 5 times 4 plus 11y equals 31. Solve it all the way out, and you get y equals 1. Like I said, it almost seems too easy at this point. All right, one more time. Looking at this one, the y's look like they would just cancel out automatically if you added these equations together. You get a 10x equals a negative 34. Oh well, you got a fraction for an answer. Doesn't mean that you're wrong, because that's what you know. The value of x is negative 17 over 5. Again, you got a fraction, but it was a whole lot easier for you to get there. Taking this and plugging it back in, it's still going to be the straightforward process that it always was. You can plug it in there. You could plug it in here. Either way, you should get the same answer. I'm going to plug it into the top one because it gives me smaller numbers to deal with. 3 times negative 17 over 5 minus 4y equals negative 5. Distribute. Remember, when you multiply a fraction times a whole number, it just goes on the top. That's what I ended up with. So I can clear it all out. Hint, hint, big deal coming. Negative 5, 1 minus 20y equals negative 25. And finally, we get to a final answer such that y equals a positive 26 on top with a negative 20 on the bottom. Reduce it down for me. 13 over negative 10. So that's the easiest way to deal with elimination. If you see some variables that will cancel out from one equation to the other, it would be way too easy for you to not just do that. Add things together. But what happens if they don't fit perfectly? New equations. 4x plus 5y equals 11. And for our next equation, I'm going to go with 2x minus 10y equals 3. I just made this up off the top of my head. No answers ready for you. What should you do? So I mentioned that the idea of clearing out the fractions was going to be super important. And this is exactly why, because the 5 and the 10, it looks like they should go together, but it's just not quite perfect enough of a situation yet. So here's what I'm suggesting. What if we used our big brackets and turned it into a 10? What if I use my big brackets and make this thing have a 10y, knowing that it changes everything else? Notice your big brackets apply to everything on the inside. But what that did for you is now you do have that situation, or it would perfectly cancel out. You add them together now, you have a 10x with a 25. And that's amazing. Done. Take your answer, plug it back in. You have 3 different options. You can plug it into the beginning, at the top, the beginning, at the bottom, or you could use that newest one that you created. Doesn't even matter to me. It is completely up to you. I'm going to use the bottom one because it has the smallest numbers. So 2 times 5 over 2 minus 10y equals 3. Multiply it, canceled out. 5 minus 10y equals 3. Subtract across. And y equals positive 1 over 5. Good luck trying the elimination homework on your own. This one is not graded. I want to see what you come up with on your own. Tomorrow's video will be a much longer process because you're going to have a full explanation of everything. Today is a try it out, see what you can come up with, expand it to your own purposes. Maybe you will even have to multiply both equations to make them fit together. Peace.